Hello. Welcome to Merriment Monday Live. I hope that you have had a wonderful weekend. And today we're going to talk about joy, of course, merriment making. And we are also going to talk about joy archetypes. So let's get into this. Let's talk about this. So hello, my beautiful merriment makers. Here with merriment making, our joy is rebellion, and weirdness is our energy and theme song. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Mary Uncustomary England, and I am your resident joy trickster, nostalgia collector, and today's host for our dive into one of my favorite things that I've ever created, which is the Alt-Joy Archetypes. So if you haven't taken the quiz yet, you are probably going to be a little confused about what I'm talking about. So you are going to want to go to take this free quiz at uncustomary.org/quiz. And you can find that link. It's pretty easy to type in uncustomary.org/quiz. And you can also find it in my link in my bio if you're on Instagram. And yes, we are live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. So if you ever need to switch over, you are always welcome to do so. So at uncustomary.org/quiz, you are going to get your joy archetype result after you take this quick quiz. And whether you've taken it or not, today you're still going to get a colorful breakdown of who you are, who you can be, what makes you happy. And you're likely going to see yourself in more than one of these. So if you're here now or you're watching the replay, tell us what your archetype is. Which one are you? And let's see how many different ones we can find. We need all of you. And if you're watching the replay later inside the Positive Pulse, or even if you don't want to watch the replay, but you still want these bonuses, you are in for a treat because I've included some really good bonuses for you today. So now, anytime that I do a Merriment Mondays live or a podcast, I also include bonuses in the upload when they go up on Positive Pulse. So it's just another reason to be in there. And today you're going to get a worksheet called a joy identity inventory, and that's going to help you reflect on how joy shows up for you. And you're going to get a customizable your joy formula builder so that you can create a practice that is consistent and actually fits your interests and lifestyle. And you're also going to get a 3-day delight challenge, which is personalized for each archetype. So technically you can have 21, oh, wait, no, like 26 different challenges because you could try all of them. So whether you are a quirky nostalgic archetype like me or a wellness seeker who is deep in your rituals, then there is something inside of there for you. So you're going to want to find all those goodies right underneath of the replay. So right now, tell me what you got on the quiz. Tell me what your dominant archetype was. And then maybe drop a word if you still haven't taken the quiz or in addition to that describes your joy style. Are you playful? Are you quiet, introspective, purposeful, deliberate, glittery, sparkly? Like, let's see who's here, what our roll call is, what we've got here in the room today. Starting off our week. So let me tell you about archetypes in terms of Alt-Joy. So first of all, Alt-Joy is a mission and a movement. And if you are inside the Positive Pulse, which again is free, and you can get that at the link in my bio or uncustomary.org/positive-pulse, you will see that I actually also just uploaded the Alt-Joy manifesto, and it is super cute and wonderful and inspiring. And I would love for you to check that out. Okay, but Alt-Joy archetypes, these are kind of like astrology signs, but for your happiness habits, okay? They help you understand the flavor of your delight and in a way that feels the most natural to you. And these are also ways to identify like what can you improve on? What can you capitalize on, right? So one of the things that I enjoy about astrology is that we can all find something in all of them. And we can also learn the lessons that each one is here to teach us. So, like, for example, today we're actually in a moon in Scorpio, a full moon. And there's lessons to be learned whether you have Scorpio in your chart or not, or you don't believe in astrology or not. It doesn't really matter because there's still all of these like themes that we can explore of, on the wonderful side, maybe the the deepness of it and the sensuality of Scorpio, but then on the other side, maybe like possessiveness, right? And that in that way, in that analogy, that's what alt-joy archetypes are. They are ways that we can say, okay, well, yeah, so this is what I am more likely to do. And, that also means that I probably am also dealing dealing with this too, right? So one of the great things about the uncustomary.org/quiz that you can take is that it'll give you some examples of resources that are inside of the Positive Pulse that are free, that are pretty much tailored to what you already want to do and what you might want to do in the future. Cindy is a creative explorer. Yes, I love it. So it's funny because I can actually see the results, and our highest percentage is the wellness seeker, and second behind it is the creative explorer. It's very interesting. And on that note, remind yourself that you are not just one thing. Archetypes are meant to be thematic and strategic and helpful. And just because like I mean, is it possible that when Cindy did her quiz, she answered every single one that was like aligned with the Creative Explorer? Maybe, but it's also possible that you answered like 4 out of 10 and that just ended up being the majority, right? And that's really cool. That's really cool because the lesson in all of this is just that you are everything. We are all everything. And you get to pick everything a la carte the way it makes sense for you. Mordecai Memento is an aspirational dreamer. Yikes, I'm an odd one. No, no, no. Those two, the Wellness Explorer and the Creative Explorer, are just the highest percentages. A lot of them are like very, very similar in terms of the percentage that we have. Those are just our two front runners. And uh, you're not an odd one. And if you are, who cares? Oh my goodness. Celebrate that. Celebrate the fact that you're weird. That's what we're doing here, right? Yeah. Okay, so you might have a like thinking about astrology again, like maybe you have a strong sun in Autopilot Achiever, but a rising Quirky Nostalgic and a moon in Reluctant Joy Seeker, right? Like your results show what's strongest right now, and if you take the quiz in another week, maybe it'll change because you are changing as you evolve. This is more of a mirror, not a box. We don't put you in boxes here, okay? Okay. So let's have some fun. Imagine if your archetype had a purse or a backpack, a satchel, a messenger bag. I mean, maybe it dictates what kind of bag you might have. And I want you to think about what's inside. So, Cindy, what is inside of a creative explorer's bag? And Mordecai, what is inside of an aspirational dreamer's satchel, right? Is it a protest sign? Is it a glitter pen? Is it a grounding stone? What kind of book would be in there? Is there a grocery list? I don't know. I don't know. Um, and yeah, just a reminder that if anything clicks for you here today, that if you want to go deeper into any of these archetypes, really, I'll share some ways that you can get personalized support at the end of this call, but the Positive Pulse is a wonderful place to start. And the vaults are even more in depth. So you're getting free resources inside the Positive Pulse, but if you want to upgrade and get a happy resource library full of like thousands of things, check out the Merriment Makers Vault. It's pretty amazing. And it's only $37 a month. Okay, so now let's get into, oh yeah, Cindy says we are multi-dimensional magical beings. Oh, you're saying I'm on my stage name. Okay, tell me what to call you. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the archetypes. And I'm going to go through each one. And I'm going to tell you what is fantastic about them and what maybe their root fears are and what kind of self-improvement modalities will probably be really fantastic for you. And then we can go through like ideas for what might be inside your tangible backpack. And then I'm going to give you an affirmation or some sort of pep talk related to it. And then, yeah, if we have time at the end, I would love to just tell if anybody wants to talk more, we can do that. For the Creative Explorer, we have 400 gel pens and pastel post-it notes and smiley stickers. That sounds accurate. In my backpack for Aspirational Dreamer, it would be journals and MLP figurines. Okay, we are getting into it. Let's start with the one that's kind of something that maybe we don't want to admit that we are. And this is the reluctant joy seeker. Okay, this is for my no nonsense, logical, loving realists who maybe rolled their eyes the first time they saw me or heard the words joy practice or happiness habits. And you are practical, you are independent, you are allergic to fluff, and you are not here for the glitter glue affirmations or toxic positivity. I get that. I get that. And there's a tiny part of you, even if you don't want to barely acknowledge it, that is craving something more. And I know that because you took the quiz. I know that because you're here. And I know that because you're still here. Maybe life feels a little gray or boring or stuck, like you're just in that get through it mode. And it feels like I've been in this get through it mode for so long. When does it get better? And you forgot what thriving looks like, you know? And that's super common. It's normal, it's natural, it's human. And you're tired, but it's not the kind of tired that like going to sleep for a really long time can fix. You don't want to perform your joy. You want to actually feel it and do that in a way that doesn't feel fake or embarrassing. So, reminder that inside the Positive Pulse, you'll get things like no bullshit joy practices, actually grounded, science, evidence backed techniques that will shift your physiology in a minute. We even have a free 1 minute challenge. And the amount of comments that are coming in now that we're rolling up to like, oh my gosh, like 350 members almost. People like even just on the first day, they're saying, I didn't think this would work. It worked. I can't wait to put this into my regular practices, like all these things. And I really love turning skeptics into believers. But you're also allowed to be skeptical. Let it show you that it's working. And that's one of the things that I pride myself on is the things that I'm telling you to do are for a reason. And we need to give you permission to explore joy in your way without wearing glitter or whatever doesn't feel right for you. So if you are a reluctant joy seeker, maybe your backpack would be filled with like receipts from the hardware store or a pocket knife, one of those Swiss Army knives, and maybe a little notebook called Things That Don't Suck. You love efficiency, and joy can be efficient too. And you thrive with gentle, logical, doable steps. And I am here for that. Truly. I love a 3-step system. I love a 1 minute a day challenge. I love things where I can cite the sources and the research. And you don't really want breath work that requires a yoga mat. You don't want to take a walk, like you're not going to want to take a walk to count steps, but to pause your brain, you know? And maybe you're going to resist journaling, but you'll enjoy tracking how many days in a row that you did something small just for you. There are so many ways to try feeling good. And if this sounds fun or like a version of you, maybe you didn't get the reluctant joy seeker as your archetype result, but if this sounds like you, drop a brick emoji in the chat or just say, yep, that one's me, or anything else that you want to share. Mordecai was saying, I really love the 1 minute joy challenges. Yes, I love them too. And if you like if you like those, there are 5-minute joy challenges for the 5-day reset and the 30-day reset. They're all, I mean, it's not 1 minute, they're 5 minutes, but it's 5 minutes to watch and 5 minutes to do. So it's super simple and all different kinds of ways to participate in refreshing, resetting, recalibrating, and grounding into your body and hyping you up in different ways. And we have so many different tools for that, like EFT and journaling and physical challenges and breath work and meditation and mini video lessons and worksheets. And it's just all the podcast pep talks, like all the different kinds of learning materials and ways that people learn, I incorporate. So the 30-day reset is one of my favorite things. It's less than $1 a day, and you can upgrade right now in the Positive Pulse. Okay, so we went through the Reluctant Joy Seeker, and now let's do the Autopilot Achiever. This one's pretty popular as well. Well, actually, I guess there's a bunch that are tied for third, honestly. It's so interesting. So the Autopilot Achiever, you know you are an Autopilot Achiever if you have ever had a color-coded calendar, 5 side projects, and you still feel like you're not doing enough. You're successful, you're reliable, you're high functioning, whatever that means, and yet happiness and fulfillment and satisfaction feel like they're just kind of slipping through the cracks. So people think that you got it all together on paper, on Instagram, and you probably do, but inside, you might feel like you're sleepwalking through your own accomplishments. Oh, so you're tired. Again, a lot of us are tired. We're exhausted, but rest might be the thing that you need, but it feels threatening. And you want something more, but you don't know how to slow down long enough to figure out exactly what that is. So in the Positive Pulse, your archetype will love things like breaking out of autopilot tools. I have a lot of those. And ways that you can give yourself permission to pause without losing that momentum that you have, because your momentum is a really good thing about you. We need that. And also maybe some mindfulness strategies that fit into an already packed day. Speaking of the 1-minute challenge, my goodness, that's so easy to incorporate. Everybody has 60 seconds. Okay, the metaphorical bag for the Autopilot Achiever, I think would have like a half-drunk protein shake in it, a planner with a lot of those like stickers and organizational tabs, and a meditation app that you are paying a subscription on, but you always forget to open, right? The key here for the Autopilot Achiever is intentional disruptions, sacred disruptions, 5-minute joy rituals, 1-minute joy rituals, mindful check-ins, and a reminder that you are not lazy, you are tired. And you don't have to give it all the time, or to everyone. Joy does not have to derail your drive. When you feel good, you perform better. If you ever feel guilty for resting, or if your to-do list has a to-do list, pop a briefcase in the chat or just say, that one's me. I get that. And if you're nodding along like, yeah, that's me, just know that inside of the vault, the Merriment vault, where there's like 2,000 resources, it's so interesting. You know, I've always said that there's over 1,500 resources because frankly, it's a little difficult to count. But this past week, my entire website was hacked. I had all this malware, and this person was like uploading random torrents and things into it was a mess. And I thought that I actually lost the entire vault. I was terrified and I was extremely sad. And when I went through this process with multiple people and teams to help me kind of get it all back as much as possible, we're still working. I realized just how many just sheer pieces of media, images are in there. And it's like right now, without it being full, 5,000. 5,000. Isn't that insane? 10 years of work inside of the vault, and you can get it for less than $1 a day. It's insane. I felt really proud of myself when I went back and looked through. And then another thing that I was doing was it a week or two ago, I did this 1-day flash thing where I said, you know, pay what you can, and tell me what you're wanting to work on, and I'll send something to you. And I had a lot of fun with kind of curating little resource packs for people. And I was so surprised at how I had something for everyone's question. Like, someone asked me about how to get more confidence wearing something like an outfit or anything, and to not feel weird about doing that and to feel more confident with it and to not worry what other people are going to think. And I was like, I know I have the whole Dress for Joy module, and I know I have resources on confidence, but let me see. And I looked, and there was literally an entire masterclass on why you're not wearing that thing, why you're scared to wear that thing, the blocks in front of why you're not wearing that thing. And I was like, this is a testament to how specific my resources are and how vast they are. That someone had a question that was so specific, and I was able to say, absolutely, here's this. You'll love it. It'll fix it. And you know what? The next day, they told me that they said, for a little bit while I was watching, I kind of believed that this was all possible. And you know what? That is such an amazing testimonial to me, truly, because I am not expecting for you to shift your entire life or your entire belief system in 1 minute or a 15-minute masterclass or a week. These are things that need to be consistently activated, because if we're challenging something that's like long in us, it's not just going to go away. People that say like, I did this thing and then it was gone forever. It's like, that's an incredible miracle that occurred for you. And also that is not the norm. And we need to stop kind of like insisting that if you don't have some sort of like origin story that goes in 24 hours, then you're not like worth it or something, or you're not doing it right. And that's so incorrect. It's so deeply incorrect. So I just want to let you know that I guess that I have a lot of resources for every single thing that you could ever want, really, in terms of personal development. And I I believe that even just watching it once is going to help shift you. And I'm so happy about that. And I'm just been really loving the Positive Pulse because of how easy it is to get back to me and for me to connect with you. And it's just been so great this past month. Okay. Cindy said I finished the 1 minute challenges and I love them. I'm looking forward to the 5 minute ones. Yeah. Yeah. If you like those, then definitely check out the 30-day or 5-day reset. It's the 30-day reset is the best bang for your buck. It's literally less than $1 a day. And yeah. Yeah, grr to the hackers messing with Merriment. Yeah. And you know what? This is one of those things where having the coping skills and the resources, I'm not saying that I did not have a horrible time with that and that I didn't feel everything and that I didn't cry. All of those things still happened. And if it had happened to me 10 years ago, I would still be there. But it's so much quicker for me to bounce back, for me to gain perspective, for me to understand, for me to not blame, for me to move forward now. And that's a testament to the resources that I created for myself, because I'm a student of merriment making as well. Lori's here. Hi, Lori. Wellness seeker. Lori's archetype is wellness seeker. An ergonomic sack with a phone and all its apps, a big water bottle, a yoga block. Yeah, I love that. Let me see what I wrote down for wellness seeker when we get there, and we'll see how accurate like my idea was with yours, right? If we're in sync with that, or because the other thing is that like, oh my goodness, even for a wellness seeker or any of them, there's so many different variations even within that archetype of how that shows up. And that's so fun. It's so fun. Okay, so we were on the Autopilot Achiever, and I was saying, like, if you're saying, yeah, that's me, then just know that there is a vault and a whole collection of high impact, low time tools that are specifically for people like you. And okay, let's see. Let's go on to the Heartfelt Caregiver. Round of applause. All the heartfelt caregivers in the room. You are the glue, you are the helper, you are the one that shows up with snacks and emotional support and a fully stocked group text. You are the one. I just posted today on my Merriment meme roundup this one of it was like a punk mom at a club, and she had a denim jacket, and on the back there was a giant handmade patch that said, I have these things, and it was like, I got tampons, I got earplugs, like it's big mom energy, and it doesn't need to only apply to children. It can, and it can also be so many other ways that you're a caregiver. You give so much to others, though, as a caregiver. And somewhere along the way, you might have started believing that your worth is tied to how much you do for everything else, for everyone else. It's something that we talk about a lot inside of the Merriment Making Vault, actually, about like having good girl complexes and this caregiver complex, really, where when we're younger, we might have had a parent who was supposed to be our caregiver, and we didn't really get full access to our childhood. Maybe you had a caregiver who was mentally ill or struggled with addiction or anger issues, and there wasn't really space for you to be who you were or a child, and you kind of had to step up into taking care of them, even if it was only emotionally or being a sounding board for them. It's too much as a child. It really is. And then maybe you find out that, I don't know, you do extra credit and your teacher gives you attention. And you're like, oh, well, I'm not getting that at home, and I'm actually feeling kind of cared for here. So if the way that I'm getting my validation and love and support is when I go above and beyond, or I take care of other people, maybe even who should be taking care of themselves or of you, then you can kind of get this complex early on that that is where your worth is derived from. And I gotta say, like, it's at the end of the day, it's not necessarily all bad, right? Nothing is all bad because you ended up having this strong urge to take care of others, right? Like, I can be so angry with my parents and stuff, but if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have created value specifically for myself to become a healer and a helper and a teacher and focus on fun and joy, right? So it's like, because I had to learn those lessons the really hard way, I now get to alchemize that into something really cool. But if you are somebody who kind of feels, even if it's not conscious, if you're just kind of like, that like the way that you help and show up and provide support and extra credit and all this stuff is the way that you are important. It's the only way that you're really getting any credit or notice. Then you might be then you might be a heartfelt caregiver. But like, I want to ask you, who is caring for you? And is it you even? Are you even caring about yourself? Because gosh, so many times we can care so easily for other people, for the world, for the environment, for microplastics, for animals, for specific communities, and we come dead last, if at all. So if you're feeling burnt out, resentful is a really big key with this one as like as a fear that's kind of we can work through. Or just secretly wishing that someone would just tell you that it's okay to rest or that they appreciate you, you are not alone. And resources that are available for you are things like just supportive reminders that you matter, that your productivity is not intrinsically tied to your worth or your value. And we also have tools for balancing kindness with boundaries. And really also just, I think for heartfelt caregivers, it's also really nice to know that you're not alone, having that community of the people in the Positive Pulse and seeing that like other people are doing similar things and also being able to be an example that I can be a caregiver and take care of myself. The caregiving has to go both ways on the candle. So just kind of knowing that you don't have to be the strong one here in the Positive Pulse. You get to relax. Okay, what's in a heartfelt caregiver's bag? I'm gonna say Band-Aids, granola bars for somebody else, an extra phone charger, and at least 3 other people's emotional baggage, probably. You need tools that are going to remind you that it's not selfish to take a break, that burnout isn't a badge of honor, and that your needs count. They matter even if no one else is asking about them. You got to do it first. So caregivers, if you've ever said, I'm fine, while slowly unraveling, or if this even isn't your archetype, but that's something that you've done, drop I don't know, drop a heart in the chat, or just the word same. I just want you to know that it's your turn to receive. Always. Okay, next up is the Quirky Nostalgic. This is who I am, my current flavor of joy archetypes. And if you are a quirky nostalgic like me, you find magic in the weird, joy in the offbeat, the absurd, delight in sticker books and googly eyes and childhood toys. You are the kind of person who thinks, why not? When you see a tutu in a thrift store and then you wear it while rewatching fantastical movies from your childhood, but not because it's ironic, because it feels good and it's healing. The world has probably told you to grow up, but the thing is that you're not immature. You are actually just connected to wonder and play. And it's something that a lot of people are missing out on. And when you're told that you're immature or frivolous, not responsible, all of these things, it's because other people don't understand because they've lost their connection to it. And that they're jealous, frankly, that you get to experience that. And they think that they only have to be responsible or only have to be a caregiver or only have to be on autopilot. So yeah, in the Positive Pulse, we have a lot of really great resources to build your quirky nostalgic playground. And there's things like working on your inner child and whimsical prompts, and also just, again, being around weirdos who get it. Like Cindy, who's here now, was sharing this stuffed animal of a sunflower axolot. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I'm here for. I mean, I'm here for all of it, but let's talk about it. Let's showcase our toys. Do you remember? I think Instagram and social media is really just show and tell for adults. Hey, look at this thing that I did. Look what I can do. Look at this thing that I bought. And it's like when we're kids and we're just like, oh my gosh, look at this. It's so exciting. Can you please look at it? And there's that in all of us. In your backpack, I think there would be stickers and candy and a slinky and pixie sticks and a button that says like, I'll grow up when I'm dead. And I think the most powerful modality for you as a quirky nostalgic is just to play, is to continue playing, to give yourself permission to make art that doesn't make sense, to dress up like a Lisa Frank character, to embrace joy as a sacred disruption. And I think what might be like a bigger fear here, like again, not being worried that you're immature, worried that you're frivolous, worried that what you are doing doesn't connect, that your purpose isn't good enough. There's a lot of connection with that. And also being misunderstood a lot, like the way that you're doing something is interpreted in a different way. And you're like, that's not how I intended it. I think there's a lot of that. So to my fellow weirdos, if you feel like this is in your bones or a big part of you, or even just a little sliver, hit me up with like a carousel emoji or a donut emoji. And remember that your delight is a form of rebellion. This is a really important quality to have. And if this is making this concept, even if you do it or you want more of it and it's making your inner child scream like, yes, please. I can't wait until you get inside the Merriment Maker's Vault. Honestly, there's a whole section for you. There's a whole inner child work. There's pep talks, there's playlists, there's printables, and I even do stuff in costume. It's the works, honey. Okay, next up we have the Creative Explorer. And these are the ones who don't just do art, they are living it. All right. Your joy is tied to creation, not for validation, not for likes, but because your soul is wired to express itself. And this is another one where there's going to be a misunderstood thread. People aren't going to get you, most of them. They've, again, maybe said your passion is silly, and maybe you have doubted it yourself. But the truth is that your creativity is your life force. And God, I mean, we need creatives. We need all of these archetypes. That's the wonderful thing, isn't it? We need the logic, and we need the motivation, and we need the caregiving, and we need the whimsy, and we need the creatives. We need all of you. We need all of you. And in the Positive Pulse, you'll find like a home base of stuff for creative prompts all the time, challenges to get you back in your flow, confidence boosters, because your art matters. It does. And I think also something to notice is that if you feel like in your bones, you're like, I'm creative. I know that I am. I love doing this, this, and this, but then you haven't actually picked up the beadwork or the paintbrush or whatever it is in a long time. That's when your soul starts to feel unexpressed. And that's like a big thing that happens with creative explorers is that for whatever reason, they have stopped creating. And that drains you of everything. It drains you of the life force, of the joy, of the fun, of the potential of who you are. So let's see, a creative explorer's bag. I'm going to say washi tape, glue stick, unfinished sketchbooks, and glitter in places that glitter should never be or should always be. There's so many different ways to be creative, though. Maybe it's with your home or your fashion or your yard or your words. Like, there's so many different ways that this can intersect and show up for you. And your best healing happens through expressive modalities. Okay. Journaling, collage, and movement also. We don't really always connect the fact that physical based challenges and movement is connected to creativity, but it is. Also, maybe improv, being weird, right? And these modalities to express yourself are not here to fix you, but to remind you of who you are. So, my creative souls, if your mood shifts the second that you start making something, put a little paint palette or paintbrush in the chat. Okay. Next up, we have my wellness seekers. These are the ones who are reading about neuroplasticity at 11 p.m. and Googling the best magnesium for mood regulation. I love you. I love you. You are deeply committed to healing, or the idea of it. And you've probably tried every productivity app, every journal format, every YouTube coach out there. You're taking it all in all the time. But sometimes this sheer volume of options can make you feel overwhelmed. And sometimes you use this as a way to procrastinate from your actual progress and healing. You will buy every app, you will buy every new program. You have a stack of books that are unread, and you're just never there's this feeling of like I'm never doing enough for my wellness, for my evolution, for my improvement. And sometimes it's like you're actually not doing anything. You're only in theory land. You're not in tangibility land. You need to get that shelf knowledge that you have off the page and into your life. Go outside your house. Stop just reading stuff and listening to stuff and go do something. So I do have a lot of stuff that will satisfy the wellness seeker aspect of you. I mean, there's a reason that there's so many of you. I have so many like emotional hygiene check-ins and science-backed tools and practical reminders that small steps matter. And, you know, I also have like physical stuff that I really want you to go do. I want you to go do it. I want you to implement it. And tangibility will always win over theory. It's like measure twice, do it once, but the doing it is gonna if you just because you've measured the thing 20 times doesn't mean anything unless you've actually built the thing, right? So this is where you might struggle. And in your bag, let's see, I had written down herbal tea bags, a gratitude notebook, and 7 unread tabs on CBT techniques. So that's what did Lori say earlier? An ergonomic stack with my phone and all its apps, a big water bottle, a yoga block. Yeah. And again, like wellness seeking can come up in so many different ways. Maybe it's about healing your mind. Maybe it's about healing your body. Maybe it's about being holistic. Maybe it's about alternative medicine. Like there's so many different ways that this can show up. And really the trick here, I think, is gentle consistency. Trusting that you don't have to earn your healing and that you get to rest while you rise up. And something that I think is the problem with consistency is that we're told over and over again, consistency, consistency, consistency. And the truth is that that is true. It is extremely accurate. It's very annoying and frustrating, but it's true. But one of the reasons that we drop off with consistency is because we don't give a crap. We don't care. And we're not wired to just keep doing stuff that sucks over and over again. So finding stuff that works for you, maybe through an additional archetype, is going to be the thing that helps you to maintain that consistency. Because if you are just constantly switching, switching codes, switching modes from one thing to the other, it's not going to stick. You're never going to get to go deep into anything. You're just going to live at the surface and you're just collecting all these different things. And it's great to be, knowledgeable about so much, but at the end of the day, is it changing your life? So if you've ever had healing fatigue, like I'm mentioning, or this not taking the shelf knowledge into real life, then drop a sparkle in the chat. This archetype is a cozy corner, and it also gets to be where we challenge you a little bit. Okay, next up, let's hear it for our community-centric activists. These are the people who are fighting for what's right, who are speaking up even when it's hard, and who genuinely believe in collective joy. You are showing up, you are helping, you are lifting others. It's similar to the caregiver and maybe even the autopilot achiever, but it's exhausting because you feel like you're holding the weight of the world on your shoulders. You feel like only people care. I'm the only one who cares about this. Not enough people care. And it can make you feel like you're carrying all the weight of carrying the caring, right? So the positive pulse is here to lighten your load with that. We have resources for change makers. You are not alone as a change maker here. And tools for joy-filled accuracy. Accuracy? No, advocacy. And you know what? There's actually so in the merriment making method, it goes from embody joy, create joy to spread joy. Embody joy is all about self-love and learning how to embody your feelings and your sensations, your emotions. And then we have how to have more fun, how to be weird, and all of these different kinds of lenses to experience self-love and feeling good through. And then in the spread joy section, or sorry, in the create joy section, we have ways to figure out what your passion is, what your purpose is, how to re-enchant your life, how to connect with other people and make friends, how to create more art, how to celebrate life. And then we move forward into the last section, which is spread joy. And that is about how to be kind, how to engage in activism, how to be an altruist, and how to be authentic. Because when you are a living example of what can be, of who you truly are, that is one of the best ways to spread positivity, to spread healing, to spread love, because it gives other people permission. So there are full resources and modules on advocacy and altruism and activism and all of that. There's so much. And even random acts of kindness and guerrilla art. I just share how to do that as well. Okay, in a community-centric activists bag, protest sign, postcards to their senator, trail mix, books with dog-eared pages from maybe autobiographies, and your heart, your massive heart that hurts sometimes from holding too much. Your modality, I think, is purposeful rest and joyful disruption and celebrating with other people, being around other people in a way that feels low pressure, right? Maybe that's what the mixer is for you. Coming out to something where you don't have to organize, you don't have to worry, and you get to kind of rest your brain to do something in a different way. You still get to connect and be a part of a community, but you don't have to plan it. You don't have to be in charge. And you get to be reminded that other people do care because your joy matters and your movement, whatever that you care about, needs energy to last. So if you have ever felt I don't know, have you ever felt joy and grief at the same time because you care about something so much? I think maybe drop a explosion in the chat. I see you. I honor you. I am impressed by you. And also just understand that an activist doesn't need to be you're fighting for people to stop hunting whales or something, or even being eco-friendly or anything. I think what I'm doing of spreading joy and insisting that this is a movement is activism. Sometimes your art is activism. Sometimes the way that you are in the world is activism. Every extension of you through a pure, authentic way is activism. Okay, and last up, but not least, we have our aspirational dreamer. So these are our big idea visionaries, our dream board makers, our people who feel like they are definitely destined for something more. You love growth. like the wellness seeker. You love potential, like the autopilot achiever, but sometimes you freeze and you get stuck in the space between vision and action, similar to the wellness seeker. But I want you to know that this is probably coming more from overwhelm, not from a lack of ambition or drive or laziness. You're just overwhelmed by the bigness of your brilliance. You're somebody that has like so many tabs open with like your own notes in it, so many ideas of how to like improve, how to make something. It doesn't even need to be an improvement necessarily. It's like, what can you build? Right? You're the person that comes up with an invention and and makes a stadium and freaks the formula and has this incredible idea. You're a visionary. Steve Jobs would be an aspirational dreamer, right? And I, inside the Positive Pulse, there are things like we were talking about the 1 minute challenge, right? It's a really good thing to come back to. Momentum tools for when you feel paralyzed, for what you don't know what to do, having those step systems because you're like, I want to do something, but I have jelly overwhelm where there's too many kinds and I'm just going to leave the store and not get any jelly anyway. I'm just going to, I'm going to take a nap instead of doing anything on my to-do list, even though my to-do list is kind of one of the most important things to me. And let it be, but feel strength in minimizing the amount that you need to output. Inside the Positive Pulse, I have things like I think motivation, like the pep talks, I think those are helpful for making you feel good. And practical steps to make your progress feel playful and fun. Like again, with the consistency, you're not gonna keep doing it if it feels like it sucks. In your bag of an aspirational dreamer, I think there's like those napkins and little pieces of paper where you manage to fit so much on it, you know, covered in ideas. Maybe a vision board inside of a journal. Maybe your phone has a vision board on it. Maybe there's a lot of half-finished journals. Maybe a candle or an invigorating scent that energizes you. Your modalities, I think, are tracking, habit tracking, being consistent, affirmations, reminding yourself and shifting your beliefs. What is the fear behind this that you can't fulfill these dreams? Is it that you're too weird or too broken or too codependent or too broke? We can shift all of these. They're just thoughts and they can be changed. And I think also creative accountability. Maybe coming to a mixer or an Operation Merriment or just showing up in the chat and just saying like, I want to work on this. So if you've ever had a big dream in your chest and you just need someone to say like, you've got this, then do a rocket ship. We'll do a rocket ship. You're not behind though, okay? Blooming comes at different stages and seasons for everyone. Okay. So I want to, while we have people here live, I'm gonna let you know a little bit more. And then I would love for you to kind of use this time while you're here live or even in the chat later to tell me like what was I wrong about in your archetype? What is something that you're realizing about yourself by listening to all of these? What is it that your fear is related to this? Like what is the expressed version and like the unevolved version of you in this space? What is the reason that you're maybe not leaning into your archetype as much? Is there an archetype that you're jealous of? Any of these are really good questions to ask yourself in regards to this. So you probably got a pretty good sense of your joy archetype now, and maybe a few for yourself. And if you're feeling like that, like, okay, I got it, but and I love it, but like, what do I do about it? So I I have you. And I mentioned all the things like in the Positive Pulse where like the kinds of things that might be good for you in terms of continuing to express what already feels natural and then kind of working on those things that are kind of under the surface that maybe are preventing you from being fully expressed in this area. And if you really want to go deeper, truly like intentional, deliberate, researched masterclasses and full modules of 30 resources at least each then the Merriment Maker's Vault is the thing to try, really. I mean, for a long time, this was a lot more expensive, but because we've recently transitioned it into a vault, it's so much more accessible because there's no more live services. So basically, you're getting access to, like I said, I always say that it's 1,500 resources, but when I went through that hacker thing, I realized that there were like 5,000 pieces of media, and we still haven't gotten everything restored. So, you'll have instant access to everything that I've ever made for the past 9 years inside of that program. And they are organized by category. So you can find what makes sense for you to help you stay consistent with your joy. All of the themes and the archetype support. And the Merriment Makers Vault is it's in my profile, it's in my bio. It's uncustomary.org/merriment-makers. And if you're in the Positive Pulse, you can go, there's a really easy link on the sidebar for that. But yeah, there's, again, so many different kinds of resources, printables, workshops, videos, podcasts, audio boosts, rituals, challenges, journaling tools, worksheets, workbooks, like challenge. I don't know. Literally anything that you can think of is in there. I've worked on this so hard. And okay, I want you to remember that one size does not fit all. That it's probably makes sense that you were like, that one's me, that one's me, that one's me. And you are all of them. You are. And that's why these archetypes exist, to give you permission to find your own flavor of fun and joy and delight, and to let it evolve over time. And if you're in the Positive Pulse, when this replay goes up in the next hour, you're also going to get the bonuses that I mentioned. So it's a joy identity inventory worksheet, a build your own joy ritual worksheet, and a 3-day challenge that is curated for your archetype. So when you log in, you'll see, like, you'll just scroll down past the replay and see, like, okay, I'm going to find Autopilot Achiever, and here is my 3-day challenge. And you could do any of them, all of them. And if you're watching this from somewhere and you haven't joined the Positive Pulse yet, I mean, I don't know what you're doing. Get in there. It's completely free. It's the hub for everything that I'm creating moving forward. And if you haven't taken the archetype quiz, you can do that at uncustomary.org/quiz to find out your archetype. And then you can come check out the replay and get all the tools that go with it. But, you deserve to feel good on your own terms. And I think let's close out by, like, dropping, if you don't have any more questions, if you have questions, drop them in here. We still have 8 minutes. If you want to say anything else specific. And you can also drop an emoji that represents your archetype energy today. Maybe it's not the one that you got as the result, but maybe it's what you want to be today, or what you wish you were feeling more of today. Joy, happiness, fun, feeling alive, exuberance, it gets to be for you. It does. You're not too special that you don't get that opportunity. And you don't have to work as hard as you think with most things. I keep learning that. And I don't know, if you're ready for more support, then, like, I don't know, support that fits you and not someone else's routine, and figuring out and being empowered to figure that out for you, and knowing that you're weird, and knowing that it makes sense that you're weird, and embracing how to use that weirdness to get the best results out of your life, because this is the only one that you get that we know of, and it deserves your attention. You can check out the vault if you want more. Really, I really recommend it. It's never been more accessible. Your joy is not generic, and your support system should be either. You're weird. Let everything you do about yourself be weird too. Okay, so Laura said, I feel this so much. We had some creative emojis and the yes for the sunflower. I feel like there's a lot of expression occurring through all of the archetypes here, and I love to see that. So I'm going to wait one more minute in case there's a question or any other points that we want to make with the joy archetypes. And I'm going to say thank you for being here. I want you to stay soft. I want you to stay bright. And remember that you have to feel good to do good. I love you. and I'll see you inside the positive pulse. Bye, my babes.